Well, so finally, I mean, the trophy drought is over for South Africa, and yeah, it took them a bit of time. As you know, I mean, good things take a bit of time, but they eventually come. And it took them 27 years. Definitely not a short span of time. I mean, quite a few legends have played and called it a day in this time span. So many events have unfurled over the course of 27 years, but finally, under the leadership of Temba Bavuma, well, I mean, I was just seeing that video from New Balance, and Temba Bavuma, his grandmother named him Temba, which means hope, and he has made the hope of so many South Africans over this last 3 decades come true finally. And guess what? They defeated the king of ICC tournaments in the ICC in an ICC final. It wasn't England, India, Pakistan, New Zealand. It was Australia, the team who just loves to win ICC trophies. They defeated them despite trailing by 74 runs in the first innings. I mean, it was a fantastic 100 for Martin Markram, and so many fantastic moments, so many handy contributions throughout the course of the test match. And we are here to definitely discuss a bit about that WTC final, and maybe discuss what's gonna be next for the couple of for both the teams. So, guys, I will be overwhelmed if you guys can join and share your comments, your feedbacks, so that we can just continue with this live. And so, let's begin. I'm joined by Ritik, and so I would like to ask him about. I mean, where do you think South Africa just made it sure that they didn't choke this time? I mean, what was the main contribution? Definitely there was Aiden Markham's 100, but what else?
I think the role of Rabada, to be honest, of course, the batting was there in the fourth innings. That I mean, we all know. But apart from that, when they dismissed Australia for 207, ensuring that the lead is not, I mean, exaggerated to a great extent, that definitely played a role. But eventually, I mean, they had to, I mean, score a lot of runs. I mean, 282 runs is not a matter of joke when it comes to the fourth inning, especially at Lords. So I think Rabada looked really good to me. Even some of the crucial moments, if I talk about, like Aiden Makram getting that wicket of Steve Smith. So players chipped in here and there, but I think mainly for me it was their bowling. Apart from the wonderful partnership in the fourth innings, that stood up and that made sure they get past the finish line. And yes, they won an ICC trophy after 27 years. So it definitely worked out. A really good team effort, I must say. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this was also a test match. I mean, there were so many ebbs and flows in the course of the game, as I said in the short also. So, I mean, right from the time when South Africa won the toss and put Australia to bat on that first morning, Australia started off on a nervy note. They lost those 4 early wickets in the first session, and then Smith and Webster building their partnership. At one moment, it looked like they might easily go to 250, if not more. And then Rabada coming back and bowling that second spell where he got those wickets at the back end. Keshav Maharaj getting that important wicket of Alex Carey and them getting out for 212. And then again, Australia came back, getting those 4 early wickets. South Africa struck back on the second morning, got those quick runs. But then again, Cummins bowling that spell right after lunch on day two, where he uh, got that six for. And South Africa were trailing by 74. It looked like it was going to be more difficult for South Africa now. Then again, they struck back with those wickets. Lungi and Giddy on that
Yes.
second day, third session, where he got those important wickets of Steve Smith, Bob Webster, and then later on he got, I think, Pat Cummins. So then Australia were 73 for 7.
Yes.
At that point, it looked like maybe South Africa would be chasing something below 200 even. And then again, Alex Carey getting that those runs and that partnership between Stark and Hazelwood on day three morning, where the duo put up 50 plus partnership for the 10th wicket. And again, the fulcrum pendulum sort of shifted towards Australia's side, with Australia setting a target of 281, which definitely wasn't
Yeah.
a pretty low target if we look at the stats at Lords in fourth innings. So it looked like
Yes.
Australia were ahead at that point of time, and with them getting that early breakthrough, they got Ryan Rickelton's wicket in the third over only. So at that point, it looked like Australia were ahead, but then again, South Africa counter attacked, and they never again looked back.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the point you were mentioning that in the second innings it was Lungi and Giddy with those 3 wickets. In the first innings, it was the fifer from Rabada, and again well complemented by Marco Jansen, who picked some important wickets. If I talk about, I think the wickets of Manas, and then of course. I think it was Steve Smith, if I'm not wrong, Manas and Steve Smith in the first innings. So yeah, no, sorry,
No,
Travis said, I
Steve
think.
Smith. Yeah, Travis
Yeah,
said. Marnus and
Head and
Travis said.
Labuschagne. So yes,
Yeah, yeah.
so as I mentioned that not just some one Superman show or something like that. I mean, well complemented. So all the 3 bowlers actually they played their part. Ngidi, Jansen, and Rabada.
Yeah,
And
even
then it was
Ngidi in the
just
first innings looked a
yes,
bit undercooked. He wasn't contributing enough, and then in the second innings he came to his own. He got that important wicket of Steve Smith. The umpire didn't
yeah,
give it. They took the review. It gave them. Then he got even Bob Webster. So basically, he got the two
yes,
top scorers of the first innings wickets, and that was an important spell. Even Keshav Maharaj. I mean, Keshav Maharaj getting that
yeah.
wicket of Alex
Alex
Carey in
Carey,
the first innings.
yeah,
Alex Carey can get those quick runs at the end, and then Markram getting those important wickets of Steve Smith in the first innings. Even he broke that dogged resistance of Hazelwood and Stark in the second innings. So all of the bowlers, I mean, all the 5 bowlers chipped in with contributions here and there.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. So let's just check. I mean, so we are already 6 minutes into the live. If there are any comments,
No,
so I don't see
unfortunately,
any.
no.
Yeah, it's a bit strange, but then that's how it is. But yes, I mean, if I talk about this year, what an year it has been. I mean, for some underdog teams like RCB, for South Africa, I mean, they are just turning up and
Yeah,
looking so.
even in the football arena, I mean, Tottenham
Yeah,
Hotspur, then Hurricane won it. I think Newcastle won it after a long time. Then there was Bologna who won it after a long time. Hobart Hurricanes won their maiden BBL title. So it's been a season of firsts for so many.
yes, and I mean, all this increases the competitiveness of any sport, not just cricket for that matter. And it's really great to see. I mean, I hope that there are more surprises that are waiting us. I mean, in the remainder of this year. But yeah, I mean, so far it looks really
Sure.
amazing. I mean, what we have seen. Yeah, and I mean, if we talk about the journey of Themba Bavuma, this guy, I mean, facing all sorts of backlashes, uh, racism, discrimination, whatever you call it. I mean, always a person who was criticized maybe for his height or for numerous other factors, but I mean, he did something which many couldn't, and did the unthinkable rather. And then South Africa winning the ICC trophy for after 27 years. That really, I mean, that's some journey you can witness, and it's really great to see this guy how he has turned up against all odds. And who knows that, I mean, this guy can do wonders. I mean, for whatever cricket he has left in him, and surely this guy looks to be a very promising asset. I mean, now he has been with the side for some time, and we hope to see something, some more achievements on his part.
Yeah, and I think if I'm not wrong, maybe he's the first colored guy to lead South Africa.
Yeah, might be, might be. I don't know about the early days of South African cricket, but from when I started watching, I think he is the first colored guy here.
Yeah, because in last 10, 15 years, I think it's been Graham Smith, Faf, ABD, all these
Yes,
guys.
yes.
Then
I think
Markram has led now.
Pollock also led the side at once, if I'm not wrong. I think he was also the captain.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
last 10,
anyway,
15
yeah,
years is, I think, not Temba only. Yeah, I mean, long back, I'm not sure, honestly speaking.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly, exactly. So that I have to check if he was the. Yes, okay. Sean Pollock also led the South African team. So it's been all. I mean, those. So the no colored guy has led, I think, so far.
Yeah.
So, guys, just repeating once again that please shoot in your comments. We have been really kept busy in this WTC final, and we have been posting shots. I mean, all the uh, 4 days rather, 3 or 4 days if I'm not wrong. But yeah, and so and we have received a fairly good response from you guys, and we hope to see something similar in the live today as well. Yep, and we are expecting maybe some few more guys to join as well. So I mean, it would be great. Uh, that you start putting in your comments, and even they can uh, come up with their inputs as and when they join.
Well,
Okay,
so I
so
mean,
I was just checking the stats. So I mean, one player. I mean, I was just going through the scorecard, and Usman Khwaja. If I look, I mean, so this guy really didn't step up to the occasion. I mean, there are multiple examples, but that caught my eye. I mean, Usman Khwaja duck in the first innings, followed by a six in the second. So I mean, it seems that this guy is not really at the peak of his career, which he used to be a couple of years ago, and that really sums up that why that was not a complete. I mean, even though Australia played really well, but I think, do you think, Saptarshi, that that made the difference? That South Africa were a more complete as when it comes to playing as a unit compared to Australia, that helped them win this match.
See, honestly speaking, I think South Africa's batting order also was thin, and we discussed about it. No hiding away from the fact. And
Yeah,
honestly speaking, I think yeah, South Africa were maybe a bit aided by the toss advantage, given the fact that the pitch and the batting conditions improved drastically on day three, and that was evident from the time when even Hazelwood and Stark could bat well for so
exactly,
long,
exactly.
and that was the point. It just struck me that maybe the batting conditions have improved drastically. 14 wickets fell on both the first couple of days, and then the fourth day, third day, just 4 wickets fell. So the pitch definitely eased up a bit. And had Australia won the toss, things might have been different because South Africa would have batted
Yes,
first, and they would have batted twice under cloudy skies, and maybe things would have been different. But um, coming to Australia, it's not that South Africa's batting was. I would still maybe say that on paper, Australia's batting in terms of experience or in terms of skill was maybe better test match wise, but Australia had better options. Honestly speaking, I think. I mean, just putting in Usman Khawaja. I mean, after the BGT, I thought Usman Khawaja was done because the way he was exposed in the BGT, and then he got that
yeah,
200 in Sri Lanka, and that was the reason why they maybe prolonged his career. But I think it's the time for him to hang up his boots. And another name which has come under the scanner was Cameron Green. I mean, Cameron Green is not
yeah,
someone whom you would like to bat at number four. I know Australia believes a lot in his potential and has backed him a lot, but him returning from a long injury, I think, is not played for the last 7 8 months or even more. And then him straight away coming into such a big game with just a few county games under his belt, and then batting at a position where he's not even batted, I think maybe more than once or something in his entire first class career, number three. Uh, and then, I mean, as luck would have it, he's having to walk out under overcast condition and face some good bowlers in the form of Robert Hansen at number three. That's definitely not easy. I think they could have played someone like a Sam Constas, who is a handy in these conditions because he's someone who will go and attack. He can get out for a zero. But Usman Khawaja, I think, was a bit defensive in his mindset. I mean, he was right from the word go. He was in a sort of a shell, and he just didn't try to impose on the opposition. I think when the conditions are not amenable to batting, and when you say, I mean, I think seam movement. I mean, when it's moving off the pitch, that's something even the bowlers are not sure of. That's the
yeah,
randomness, and to counter the randomness, you need to play some shots. I mean, if you just keep on defending and defending, you just don't know which ball has your name because I mean the
yes,
ball can it's wobble seam of the deck, and I mean you just don't have any idea whether the one is gonna come into you or it's gonna hold its line. So it's so much difficult to play. Even if you, it's not, it's even more difficult to play than normal swing through the air, which you can at least guess seeing the bowler's grip. So
yeah,
there, I think you need to play some shots and at least try to impose on the opposition, impose yourself, try to dictate the proceedings instead of letting the opposition dictate the proceedings. And that's where I think Usman Khawaja and Manas Labuschagne, two utterly defensive guys opening the innings, didn't set things right for them. I mean, South Africa, if you see yesterday, they also did the same mistake in the first innings when they were playing in a
yes,
very defensive manner on the day one, third session when they batted. They batted so slowly and they just let Australia dictate proceedings. And yesterday, even after the lost wicket run early on, Markram and Mulder tried to impose themselves. They may have got out, but what it meant was as soon as they tried, kept getting for the runs, Australia started thinking otherwise. They opened the field, maybe removed one asleep, removed the gully, bowled maybe a bit defensively, not bowling that many attacking lines. And that's the advantage you have.
True that. And also,
Also, they had someone like Josh Inglis who got a 100 in
yes,
Sri Lanka, was in good form in the IPL, though it was an entirely different ball game. But still, I think they could have used him. Usman Khawaja against right arm pace averages very low in the last 6 months or 12 months, whatever it is. So I think, honestly speaking, Australia have the next test series in 10 days' time from here on in the Caribbean. Steve
yes,
Smith
yes.
is injured, so he most likely won't play in that series. Now they need to groom some young guys, I think. I mean, Usman Khawaja needs to sit out, and they need to give chances to Constance, maybe Inglis, and all these guys.
Yes, anyway, I mean, Usman Khwaja is not, I mean, very young anymore. I mean, he's already 38, and who knows that,
Yeah,
I mean, this year might be his last in Test cricket. So, uh, yes, also one name that was making the headlines, to be honest. I mean, even before the match started, and that was, I mean, the inclusion of Josh Hazelwood instead of someone like Scott Boland. Do you think that that played a role in this match? I mean, because we know Scott Boland, when he gets going, he like just takes the opposition apart with his brilliant line and length, and we all saw that what he can do. I mean, so far the matches that he has played, he has just, for some matches he has just dominated like anything. And Josh Hazelwood, if I see in this match, I think he got only 2 wickets in the 2 innings combined. So he definitely didn't have his he was definitely not looking at his best. So yes, your thoughts on that?
yeah. So I mean, see, Josh Wood is a class bowler. Honestly speaking, no doubt about that. But I think
Yeah,
last couple of years he's missed a lot of test matches for Australia for whatever reason it is. I mean, whenever they go to subcontinent, if they want to drop one pacer, it's Josh Wood, because Cummins is the skipper and Stark gives you that left arm advantage, and he's also someone who can get that reverse swing. Also, he's someone who can
yeah,
bat a bit. So Hazelwood is the one who gets X'd, and then at home also he's missed a lot of matches. And with Boland there, they don't give him a lot of stress. So that's the reason he hasn't played a lot of test matches in the last cycle. If you see in the BGT, he played only two before he got injured. Even in the Ashes, I think he played two or three. So that's the reason he's not played a lot of test matches. And he looked a bit undercooked, to be honest. Even in the first innings, yeah, he bowled one pitch of a delivery to Tristan Stubbs, where he just beat his defense and got the one to nick back and uproot his off stump. But apart from that, if you see, he just didn't look that much threatening. You saw Stark bowl that spell on day one. Even Cummins,
yeah,
the way he bowled. So I mean, those guys were at least creating those chances. Yeah, or yeah, yesterday also that chance which Smith put down where he injured his finger, twisted his finger. So that was a tough chance. I mean, because the edges were falling short, he just put on the lid and came a bit forward to ensure that it doesn't fall short of the fielder. And that one just jumped up from a length. And had he been standing at his normal position, maybe he would have been in a better position to grab that. And at that
yeah.
point, had the lost 3 wickets, maybe things might have been different. But yeah, that's how things go.
Yes, yes, exactly. So yeah, definitely that has been, Josh Hazelwood hasn't looked at his best, and that has really sparked some concerns in that dressing room. To be honest. Okay, let me just check if we have any comments. Okay, so I think one of our team members has confirmed that he's also joining. So I think we can get his inputs as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just checking the ages of this trio, as we say it, of Stark, Hazelwood, and Cummins. So I think Stark is 35 currently, Hazelwood is 34, and Cummins is the youngest. Okay, Cummins is I think 32. So I mean, it's not very far. I mean, when this trio finally needs to get separated, because we will definitely see. I mean, at least Stark, I feel that considering the pace at which he bowls, that he would not be able to sustain. I think max 1 or 2 years more, but more than that, I
The
doubt that
Stark,
how long.
I wouldn't be surprised if he hangs up
Yeah,
his boots maybe in this Ashes.
yeah,
Hazelwood, I'm not
yeah.
sure because of the amount of injuries he has these years. Stark, I think, has got over his injuries a bit these in recent years. And Cummins, I think, yeah, he will be there for at least 2, 3 years, if not more.
Yeah, yeah. And considering that he's also the skipper and who has done fairly well with his captaincy duties, so yeah, don't see that happening pretty soon. Yeah. Okay. So yes, guys, please shoot in your comments if you are watching, because that is the only thing that can drive us forward. Because otherwise, we can have this discussion. I mean, anywhere else as well. By come to the live, because that's the place we want to interact with you guys. And thank you for that wonderful response on one of the shots that we uploaded. I think it crossed some 1.4K views, if I'm not wrong. One of the shots. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, surely.
Okay, so has he joined one of our team members, or is he still joining? I think yeah,
Mm,
not yet. Okay. I mean, even if you know, if you guys don't want to talk about this, maybe something else, you can also, I mean, post that.
yeah,
Yeah,
surely. I mean, whatever you guys want, even if it's not test match, MLC, if
yeah,
you want, we can talk about that also.
yeah, absolutely.
And even I
Okay,
think someone like Nathan
yeah,
Lyon, even Nathan Lyon looked off color even in the BGT. And today also, I think this match, it doesn't look that threatening, which he used to look a couple of years back. I mean, he's not getting that same bounce and turn and the wickets. Yeah, maybe on a couple of occasions he's been a bit unlucky with the conditions on offer, but yeah, I don't find that same spice in him. And with a new WTC cycle beginning, I mean, by the time they come to India, where spin will play a pivotal role in 2027, Nathan Lyon is already, I think, if I'm not wrong, he's 37. He will be turning 38 this
okay.
September. So by the time they come to India, he will be 39. So that's a bit concerning.
I really think that this Ashes is going to be his last series. I mean, just speculating, but most likely that is going to be the case.
And to be honest,
Because,
I mean,
yeah, yes. Okay, so I think Abhishek has joined. So, hi, Abhishek.
Yeah. Hi, hi.
Yeah, we were just talking about Nathan Lyon. So, based on my assessment, I think this Ashes is going to be his last test series.
I think, yeah, first of all, before starting, I think good evening, everybody, and so congratulations to South Africa for winning an ICC title after 27 long years. Uh, the wait for where they played numerous semi-finals, where they played finals, but not make it to the end. They finally made it
Yeah,
to the end, and a well-deserved kudos to them. So I will be coming to them. Yes, as you mentioned, I think if you talk about the guys like Nathan Lyon, Mitchell Stark,
yeah.
George Hazelwood, and
Usman Khwaja.
Steve Smith, Usman Khwaja, and Steve Smith. I think these guys are
Yeah,
at the flag end of their career. So I think this WTC will be seeing a fresh new Australian bunch of players
yeah,
after this time. Because you see, one thing is that yeah, no doubt these trio, especially the likes of Stark, Hazelwood, and Cummins, has delivered a lot for Australia. But I think somehow you need to feel that uh, I feel Josh Hazelwood has been the weak link in this match. Uh,
yes.
I think playing Bulland would have been a better option. And
I think we
we have
discussed
seen
this right
in the
before
recent
yeah,
years,
the WTC started. In the
yes,
preview video we made,
and we have
live we
yes,
came. Yeah, yes,
and we have seen in the recent years that once pressure comes on them, especially when the batting team attacks them, then they are not able to handle the pressure. We have seen in Gabba, we have seen
yeah,
in Headingley, and the only test match which India won in Perth, there also these three were there. So I think it's the time. uh, time to take a call. I think the Australian board should take a call.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Anyway,
Uh,
this trio is not going to perform indefinitely, so they need to look
yes, I
beyond
think
these three. Yeah.
Hazelwood start will have to take a call. Cummins will be there for some time. He still has age on his
Cummins will
side.
be there, but I think Mitchell Stark also, like the way, with no disrespect to him, but what I found is that if there is no swing and seam, I think he looks a completely different bowler. And uh, the first innings where he bowled beautifully, the second innings, I think he leaked a lot of runs. And the Australian ball,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you cannot make a team chase 282 in a final, man. It's too much. And considering it was South Africa, there was no chance like that they should have scored this much amount of runs. I agree, the pitch became flat, it became good for batting, but still, I think the pressure of 282 is much more enough, and that too in a WTC final at Lords. So I think,
Yeah.
yeah, you have to agree they batted very well, but I think you have to blame the bowlers. They couldn't handle the pressure. And if you remember the
So
WTC 2023 final also, the same thing happened. India batted well in the fourth innings, uh, 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 and it took I think Boland, and as I mentioned, it took Boland to dismiss well said Virat Kohli, and then they started doing the collapse.
Yeah,
So
Poland
I
got
think
Virat and
Boland could
Jadeja in the
have
same
been
over.
yes, and that changed the game. And the target was also very high. I don't
yeah.
think that if let's say the target was 300, I think that India scored 250. I think, right, in the
The
fourth
target was
innings. I don't
444.
remember.
Oh,
The,
okay.
the target was
So
444. That's why the target was very huge. So anyways, they were not
India
losing
scored
it.
230 or 240, I think. I mean, after
But
Virat and
yeah,
Jadeja got out, it was a procession only.
yeah. But
Yeah. Had the
if,
target been
let's
below
say
300,
been
things would have
yeah,
might
below
have been
300,
different.
things would have been, and they could have kind of felt the pressure. They could have felt
Yeah.
the pressure. So yeah, that's
Because
what I'm saying.
400
That
plus is a humongous score, to be very honest. Yeah.
yes, and I think I have always told that in BGT also, had Scott Boland been not there, India would have again won the series. It's a very strong statement to make, but it's a fact. And I think Boland was all the difference that led India to that collapse. But I think Australian bowlers, I think it's a very poor show. Nathan Lyon you cannot blame much because anyways, like it's in
Yeah.
England, Lords. How much it will help the spinners? I think spinners are only there to for the transition period where a new ball is taken. So that's what I think. I think kudos to South
Yeah, so I
Africa,
think
but
maybe
now a
India,
tough call
Australia,
must be
two
taken.
good test teams will undergo transition this WTC cycle.
Yes.
Yes,
Exactly. Exactly.
and the team which is going to rise is now South Africa because they have all quick, emerging quicks. Rabada is not that what to say. mm, Old.
See, I mean,
Johnson is young.
to be
Nigidi
honest,
is
this
young.
coming to South Africa, I still think this South African team has areas to improve on. I mean, the batting is still circumspect if you look at it. In tough
Yeah, absolutely.
conditions, they still maybe don't have that enough skill or quality level batters apart from Babuma. Markram, I think, have the
Yeah.
talent, but again, his consistency is always a question. So I think that batting still has enough areas to improve on. Tristan Stubbs has not yet performed in tests to that point. Then I think, yeah,
Rickelton is there.
Bedingham did well in
Ryan
this test.
Rickelton. No, Bredingham, I think if you remember that last two series,
So
the last year when South Africa went to New Zealand, he scored a century there also. And he scored a 50 against India also, if you remember, in 2024.
Okay.
So he looks a very promising player to me. This guy. And he played well in the first innings also, where ball was doing everything. And he scored a valuable 45. So I think he looks a decent player to me.
yeah, so
Yes.
David Bedingham. That's what I'm saying. Their batting is improving. Like I think they have already formed the unit, and now they are going to stay here for the next 10 years. But this is not the case with Australia. See the top order. I think in both the innings, how many they couldn't even accumulate 10 runs in both the innings. If you talk about the likes of Khwaja and Green, and
yeah, I think
if
in
you
the West
include
Indies series
Labuschagne
they will
also,
give chances to English and Constas. Um,
Yes.
and I mentioned also that they are very much dependent on Steve Smith, and if Steve Smith doesn't perform, they will crumble under pressure.
yeah, Steve
One
Smith
of miracle
performed in the
came.
first innings, but then he got out in a
Exactly.
bad fashion.
Exactly.
That's what. And one of miracle came by Mitchell Stark, but you cannot expect that every day that he will score a 50. So, anyways, I think the Australian batsman troubled against
Yeah,
pressure,
and in fact,
and
it was pretty evident that time that when Stark was scoring a half century, that the pitch had lost
the pitch has become flat.
some of the things that
The pitch
it
has
was
become good
showing
for
up.
batting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The pitch became a
and
bit
that's also I think
suitable for
we were
batting.
discussing. I think Saptarshi
Yeah.
was also mentioning that third day is actually the best day to bat in Lords. And these
Yeah.
things, I think
Yes.
the teams, I think the next coming series, India England, they should take care while playing at Lords that
So,
it and toss what things to take care of. And although the last time India and England met, India won batting first at Lords. Yeah, that's a separate issue. But
see,
think,
I
but
mean,
yeah, I
that's
think
entirely different. It all depends on the on what weather is there on the first morning
yeah.
and the pitch,
But I think
how
yeah.
you back
But first
yourself.
day, anyways, I think it will do some movement. But yeah, I think as day progresses, yeah, you have some. I think it becomes better for batters, I
And
would
it's
say.
not that you
Yeah.
lose. I mean, it's difficult to bat. I mean, no one has won batting first in Lords. So India won batting first. England, Australia won batting first in Ashes. So yeah, teams have batted first and won in Lords.
Yep.
Yeah, so also, I mean, seeing South Africa, I mean, quite a few other teams may now start prioritizing leagues for some series and over Test cricket. South Africa will show we just sent our C team in one of the series. We didn't even prioritize Test cricket, but we ended up somehow qualifying and winning it. So, what's the
Basically, when
point
they
in
saw
giving so
that
much importance to Test cricket? They will say.
absolutely, and yeah,
I mean, now
I
there
think I
there
don't
comes the
remember.
point of WTC having so many flaws in its format. Had WTC been a bit uniform in its scheduling, every team
Yeah.
playing same number of matches, maybe South Africa wouldn't even have qualified.
Exactly. Exactly. And the same
And
thing
also,
happened with New Zealand
I
also.
feel, and also
Yeah.
I feel, yeah, New Zealand also exploited that one. But
Yeah,
yeah, I also think, yeah, the quality of opposition, which that also matters.
yeah. So I mean, I think
With whom
India,
you are playing.
Australia, and England, these three teams always play among themselves, and so they are the three teams who play quality oppositions over every cycle. But the other teams, if I see South Africa, New Zealand, Pakistan, one of them always have a easy cycle. If you look at the oppositions.
And
Yes.
South Africa,
Yes.
you have to agree, they are unbeatable at home. It's very difficult to
Yeah.
beat them at home. So, anyways, yeah, it's very difficult for these low-ranked teams. See, quality teams struggle while going there.
Yeah, I
Teams
mean,
like
South
India,
Africa,
teams
to be
like New
honest,
Zealand struggle there.
Australia last went in 2018, that infamous series, and they ended up losing
They
it.
lost the series.
England, I think, won it
Uh,
in 2020. In
that
2019-20, England won it. Ben Stokes was the man of the series. India won one match in 2021 and one match in 2023.
Yeah.
2024,
yeah.
rather.
So the quality teams also struggle. So it's very difficult for low-ranked teams, especially the likes of West Indies or Bangladesh or let's say Pakistan to go and win
Actually,
there. It's very
Pakistan were
difficult,
about to win that first test.
and that's
Yes.
what the
Yes.
pressure of nerves were. I think, yeah, I remember that match. But yeah, that's what. And so these things, I think
Yeah, so I mean,
the WBC
also South Africa and New Zealand having so less matches, yeah, is a
will
different
always
thing
give
to
them the
having someone
advantage.
having 20. I mean, England played 22 tests last cycle. Australia and India played 19 tests. South Africa played just 12 tests, I think.
Yeah, and
Yes,
also not just the number of matches. I mean, the workload that comes with it. I mean, if you play 12 games versus if you play 22 games, the players. I
and
mean, they
also
definitely.
the quality of opposition, as
Yeah.
I mentioned.
Yeah, and
Yes.
also sometimes, I mean, in a two-match series, yeah, it's pros and cons both ways. In a two-match series, you lose the first match, you can't even win that series. You win the first match, you
Exactly.
can't even lose that
Exactly.
series. In a five-match series, India won at Perth in such a humongous fashion and then ended up losing the series.
Yes. Yes.
So in a
So yeah,
five-match series,
that's
there's
what
always a chance for a comeback. Australia won the
comeback.
first two in Ashes and then were on the verge of losing that had rain not saved at Old Trafford.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, in 5 match series or a 4 match series, there is a chance of comeback. Yeah, but yeah, not in the case of this time. Uh, so that's
Yep.
what they need to. If you see South African matches, mostly there are two matches. When you see South African tour, I had
No, no,
or maximum
South
three
Africa
matches.
three matches. I think That's very rare. England played
Very
four
rare,
matches in
very
South
rare.
Africa in 2019-20. I
That
mean,
that
four
is, I think,
matches in South Africa. That
one of
was
occasion. That is a one
yeah.
of
Yeah.
occasion, I would say. But normally 3 matches I have seen
Yes.
South Africa being played in South Africa. India played usually played 3 matches. But normally places like New Zealand, South Africa, they will only keep 2 matches, test matches.
Yeah, and the
Normally.
WTC, I mean, the ICC would have to reconsider these things. I mean, to make the competition as fair as possible, and also, I
Next
mean,
cycle they aren't reconsidering, so we will have to wait for 2 more years.
okay, and also the point they've mentioned that the always the venue of the final. I mean, why is it not being done on a rotation basis, but always, I
So
mean,
is there any
done at
confirmation this
England
time? What is the venue?
for
Yeah, there
25,
Are
were
you?
talk,
27.
there were talks that maybe India, but I mean yesterday I read one that maybe again England. Not sure about the sources, but
But yeah, that's
That's,
I
I
mean, raises
think,
a lot of questions.
that
That
I
raises
think
questions.
that raises a lot of questions. See,
Yep.
basically, yeah, Test cricket is not just about playing quality fast bowling. It's always also about how you handle spin. So
Yeah.
why cannot you? I'm not talking about India, but why cannot you place a subcontinent and every time England, it's not good actually. I would say because every time then
Yeah. Why not
the
Australia? Why not South Africa? Yeah.
yeah any place do it in Wellington. Who has stopped
Yeah.
yeah,
you? But these things, I think, as I mentioned, there are lots of flaws
yeah,
in the World Test
but
team which has
again, there the problem of hosting in New Zealand or South Africa or Australia is maybe the timings because in there the test matches are usually held at the end of the year or maybe the starting of the year, but the time when the cycle ends and the new cycle begins, so June or July, whatever it is, at that time I think the only possible options are India also doesn't host a lot of test matches if you see history. I think England is there, West Indies is there, and Sri Lanka is there
I
at
think
that point.
India. This is the time of
I've
monsoon.
seen
So that might be the case. That
June.
Yeah.
June
yeah.
is the time of monsoon.
Yeah.
No, I mean, when was the last time
Is there any
the
rain now in India?
India
No, I
hosted
mean
test matches
not
in
every
June?
day, but I mean it has started. I mean it has hit the country. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It rain affected India and New Zealand World Test semi final in 2021 in England. You're talking about rain and you're giving the match in England. So that doesn't make much sense, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I
And
usually you don't see right
yeah.
And
test matches in
and
India
that
at this
rain
point of
affected
the
India very much.
year.
If you remember, India were batting very well, but that rain broke the, what to say, the flow of batting, and
Rhythm.
then they have to come next
See,
day,
with
and with
England,
all the
Yeah, but that's
concentration
the thing. I
lost.
rain
mean,
is always a possibility.
and
Yeah.
and actually, in this time of the year, you don't see India hosting a lot of matches, right? I mean, India mostly hosts test matches from
That's what I'm.
November,
That's what I'm telling. That's what I'm
December
telling. They need to.
to around March, February,
Yes,
March.
and then they start again from the puja season.
Yeah, so around that
No
festive
issues
season they
to
start.
start it. Okay.
Yeah, so
But
South
that's
Africa,
what
but
my
again, South
point is
Africa, if
that.
you have, then you need to have around December to March somewhere there. Maybe then you need to close the cycle early and
But first of all,
get it done
thanks
around
Shubhradeep
February,
for the
March.
comment. I think this is the first comment we are receiving, or like we got more
Yes,
comments.
Yeah,
yes,
first
yes.
comment.
The first comment. Yeah.
Come on, guys. South Africa has won,
To be
and
honest, there is no country where the fans will wake up early on a Saturday morning to watch two neutral teams playing. No way happening in Melbourne, Auckland, Mumbai. To be honest, yeah, I mean, Test cricket in England is a different tradition. That I have to agree.
No,
It's
that
a
is of
ritual.
course. That is
that is
for
a
sure.
different. That is a different
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, I think all the tickets were sold, and I think, yeah, you. But that doesn't mean that you do, give final to every time in England. Just because Test cricket is the best option to play in England, that doesn't make
And
any sense to me actually.
yeah, Test
And
cricket. I mean, Test cricket has a huge audience in England, and I mean, people watching so two just neutral teams. I mean, had
that
it
I
been in
agree. But
India, I really doubt how many Indians would have gone to a stadium on on a weekend morning and
but
Especially
but
watching.
that
see, but
India
that
is
should
not
have
playing
been
the
also.
final.
But
Yeah.
think like this.
Oh,
That should have been also a contest to watch, right? Like which team plays spin the most, spin the best. I
yeah,
think if think from that perspective, it should have been also a contest to watch because
See,
Test
I
cricket is
mean, yeah,
not just, yeah. Here
there are a lot of
spinners
reasons
were
actually.
having no advantage. If
Yeah.
you play in subcontinent, the fast bowlers have also advantage of the new ball. Spinners obviously have the advantage, and if some possibility of reversing is also there, it can come
Yep.
into play. So these things, but yeah,
But I
Test
think
cricket
it's
in England.
majorly majorly, I mean, this decision is majorly influenced by those business reasons. I mean, as you mentioned, that all tickets sold and
broadcast.
all these
So I think the
things.
one
Yeah,
option is, yeah, why not change it to June to some other venue? Sorry, some other timeline.
time of
That's
the year.
that's
Yeah, yeah,
time of the year. Like let's say
That
in
is actually
India,
the reason. No way you put South Africa and Australia in a WTC final in Chennai and Mumbai for no one to turn up. That's the wrong advertisement of the format.
yeah. That's what I said. That
that
monetary
that's
reasons
what
are
I
driving
agree.
this. Yes.
Monetary reasons are driving it, and that I agree with that at this point. That yeah, the Test cricket in England is a separate fan base, and you like watching Test cricket in England. When
And the
batters
audience, I
come and
mean,
walk,
yeah,
and
you can.
audience, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
they're
want to,
really
yeah,
passionate fans. Yes.
passionate fans watching with the that what to say that you call it Hindi Durmeen, and
Yeah.
some people wearing that those yellow colored coats. I think they're MCC members. And when a
Yeah.
batsman goes out or returns from that long walk back from the to the Lord's Pavilion, so all these things looks it makes look make it look very good. But at the same time, I think every time putting in England is, I would say, a bit unfair, especially to the subcontinent team,
Yeah.
especially the likes of India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan,
Yes.
Bangladesh, because every if you play in England, anyways, I think uh, the SENA countries which we call, they will always get the advantage. It's not that India doesn't have great fast bowlers; they have, but I think advantage will be on their side. That's what I feel, and
Especially
considering,
the England, New Zealand, and Australia. If I see, I mean, even if
Yeah,
you don't
unless
consider South Africa, yeah,
two Asian countries can qualify, India and another Asian country, but who will it be?
yes, but that
Pakistan, Sri
that
Lanka?
seems very unlikely. That is very
Yeah,
that seems
unlikely,
very
actually.
unlikely. That seems very
yeah.
unlikely as of now. Uh, no, I don't think that's happening.
I mean, that could have
And
happened. I mean, way back when Pakistan used to play well, but now I don't see that happening.
that is now not happening actually. That's true, and
Yeah, so
that is the reason I
Pakistan,
think.
this cycle, Pakistan has series against New Zealand, South Africa, and Sri Lanka at home, and they are going to England, West Indies, and Bangladesh.
Okay, okay.
Tough,
Hmm.
tough, tough, tough to be honest. See, they
At
cannot
home,
even win home series at
they
home
will make dust bowls again.
by making dust balls. I think they just now lost to West Indies also. So
Yeah, so
I don't know.
will they make dust bowls against New Zealand? New Zealand defeated India in dust bowls,
Yeah,
and New
I
Zealand
don't
have
think they will take
quite a
that
few good
risk,
players of spin bowling.
Of course, of course.
especially the left arm. Especially, I think because Norman Ali and Sajid Khan both are left armers, right? So I think
No,
players like
Sajid is
Rachin
offie. Sajid
Ravindra,
is offie. Sajid
Sajid
is
is
offie.
off. But I think players like Rachin Ravindra, who is the Latham? I think they will play them well. I think, yeah.
That's a point to make, but India fumbled both finals at the last moment. They were in the game against New Zealand with the tail whacked them, and then there was the Smith and partnership.
That's what, yeah, that's correct. Because our batting and bowling couldn't click together. I agree with that. At this point, the 2021. But as I mentioned, I think the rain came and it disturbed the flow of innings. I would say the entire tea session, because I think in test matches, I think you'll agree that session where
Yeah,
it's ideal to
also
bat is the tea
I think
session. So
India
India
bottled
were
it in the second innings
choosing
in
well.
that test match.
Yeah,
In the
India
second
bottled
innings,
it in
I
the second
remember
innings.
on day four, I mean, which was actually day five. So the match went on to day six because of rain. So day five evening,
Yeah, yeah,
they were,
because of the
I
rain.
think, 64
And
for two
you see
at stumps.
so much
Virat
disturbance,
and
right?
Pujara batting, and then the last morning when
Virat
they
and
came out,
Rahane,
no,
Virat
Virat
and
and
Rahane.
Pujara were batting.
Sorry,
I
sorry,
was on
sorry.
second
The
innings.
first
Speaking of
inning.
second innings, Virat and
Yeah,
Pujara, and then Virat got out to Jamison. Pujara got out to I think, Jamison, and then there was a collapse on day five morning. Only Pant got 40 odd, and they got out for 170 something.
and then I think Pujara dropped some catches. Yeah, and the Smith had
No,
partnership. The bowlers
that was. I
couldn't
mean, the game was
play. Yeah,
anyways over by then.
yeah, yeah. That was the fault of bowlers, I would say. So yeah, South African. That's what I'm saying. That even though South African batting crumbled, they were all out at 138. Their bowlers brought them back into the game, which I don't see nowadays with India's bowling. You, either Bumrah will take the wicket or you just go for runs. That's what's happening in the BGT. So if you
Yeah.
and that yeah, so that's also I think one of the big reasons. But I would say I would feel that
And also
the India,
the doubt around Mohammad Shami in the team, that has also affected India a lot because
but
yeah.
I think India lost 2021. I think because something because of the pressure also that India has now haven't won in 8 years and all. But I think once a nation starts winning trophies, their confidence also increases. So I guess
Yes, yes,
if next time the WTC happens, I think India will be the firm favorites because what happens like South Africa now the pressure is relieved of their shoulders. Now
exactly,
every
exactly.
tournament they will play freely. Now they will not collapse from 30 runs or 30 balls, and that's what I think
The issue in the social
the
media
issue.
with England hosting the final is because India failed both finals. Had they won one or even both, no one would have questioned at all.
Okay. Yeah, that might have played a part. I mean, that's
Yeah, but I
that's
think we are
possible.
talking from a neutral perspective,
But
and yeah,
even
not
with
just
this final, also we are saying when India didn't even qualify. So even
yeah,
this season, I mean, it. I mean, ideally, it should have been played in a
yeah.
different
I know
venue.
there are fans
Yeah.
of the social media, but I think we are talking from the neutral perspective. And Cummins, come on, right? Every time you cannot give in England, right? It's not fair. Some like every team cannot play well in a certain venue. There must be some venues that like let's say South Africa, Australia. Had the match been played in Australia, Australia could have been a better advantage. Had the match been played
Exactly,
in some other
exactly.
place, they could have gotten a better advantage.
Had the match
So
happened at South Africa, I think. I mean, anyway, South Africa would have been the
let's say
favorites. Yeah.
had it happened in Sri Lanka, it could have been
Yeah.
another contest, right? Who plays spin well
Yeah,
between two,
that would have been something to watch out for, to be
Yeah.
honest.
something to watch out, right? Anyways, we know that they handle fast bowling well because they come from
Hmm.
those countries. So these kind of innovations, I think people need to bring. I would say.
Yeah, but yeah, again, I mean, how will business be impacted? We don't know. I mean, if that takes a big toll, then that might not be a possibility. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways,
Okay,
India,
so
coming to the India
do we have
point,
any more
yeah,
comments? I think at the moment it's Shubhradeep's comments I see.
yeah. If
Uh,
anybody is watching, please like, share, and comment. Don't
yeah.
forget to subscribe. If
Yes.
you are
Yes.
first to the channel, that's the most important thing because
Yeah, and I
we
mean,
have been coming live
yeah,
Saptashti in a new.
Okay.
Thanks, thanks.
Thank you.
yeah.
So, musical traveler, what are your thoughts? I mean, South Africa winning a trophy, winning an ICC trophy after 27 years. And by the way, I read a stat that Australia is losing sorry, an ICC final after
After
15
15
years.
years. Yeah, last time
Yeah.
was when
After
they
2010,
lost
right?
to England in 2010.
Yes. Yes.
I think
Yes. Yes.
I
That
think England's
that was
captain
in
was
England,
Paul
right?
Collingwood. Yeah, Paul
That was
Collingwood
in
was the
England, right?
captain. No, that
No,
was
no,
in
Yes.
West
the
Indies.
Yes.
West Indies.
West
Oh,
Indies.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And apart from the T20 World Cup final, all the other three finals where they've lost the opposition,
And
one
I
in the
think
opposition has
we
made
are
a
having a
hundred.
discussion.
Clive Lloyd,
I
Aravinda
think
De Silva,
one
and
of
Mark
our
Browne.
members, I think Shubhadeep, I think he has also asked the question that how many times Australia have lost a World Cup final, and we have to scratch our heads to remember
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
this
actually
is
when it
the fourth
happened.
time.
First of all, my question,
Four out of
my thought
14.
In
was
1975, I know. Yeah.
1975, 1996, 2010, 2025.
Okay. Okay.
exactly,
1975,
So
Clive
and
15
Lloyd made a
years of
100.
dominance, but yeah, hats off to that
1975, Clive
to this
Lloyd made a
team.
100. 96, Aravinda De
Six.
Silva made a 125. Markram makes a
sorry,
100.
sorry. The answer is yeah, it's not two. They also lost 1996. 1996 is completely
Yes,
our
that
six
Yeah,
man
I
Sri Lanka
said
final.
team was
1996.
different.
Aravinda De Silva in Lahore.
I mean,
Oh,
Hmm.
that
no,
Sri Lanka team, my goodness.
1979, I think it was
No.
England
I
versus.
think it
1979
was
it was
England.
England West
It was
Indies.
England.
It
Yeah.
wa-
It was
it
England,
was
England, yeah.
1975. 1975 England West Australia West
Yes.
Yeah.
Indies. 1979 England West Indies. 1983 India West Indies. Man, West Indies that time. What a team!
Yeah.
And what that has become of its team. But yeah, I think that's what I think. Speaking of Test cricket, I think that's the beauty of the game. So I think that people are so much excited to see a Test cricket between two different countries that win final. So I think yeah, I think a great advertisement for Test cricket also. And
That was way back, no?
to be
1975. My goodness.
1975, 1996, yeah, almost 30 years.
Either
But
they
yeah,
win or
in the
they
21st,
don't qualify at all.
yeah. But if you
Yeah.
talk about this is the 21st century, right? Yeah. So yeah, in the 21st century, it's only happened 2 times.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So essentially, it is the
But
British beating the British in Britain. Uh, I didn't get. I mean, the essence of that.
okay, I think he's bringing some kind of historical things into this. I think perspective. I think South Africa. Oh, is a comment. Okay, okay. But I
Okay.
think
So yes.
on a contrary, I think what a year has been. It has been for the teams who was struggling to win.
Yeah,
We
I
talk
was
about
making this
RCB.
point in the start of the
We
live.
talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
South Africa, and I think football also. I think some
And
leagues.
what a year it has been for ABD. I mean, he might be thinking that after his retirement, all of a sudden his teams have started winning. So yeah,
Then he must
Yeah,
be
but
thinking that maybe he
did
was
everybody
the
join the
issue in the team.
celebrations? Did everybody
maybe
join
he
the
was the.
celebrations today again?
I
No,
don't
no,
think
no,
after that
ma'am. This is
RCB
ma'am.
that
This is the
incident that happened at Bangalore. Yeah,
no. He's
Yeah, so
talking that did
now
they join
everybody has
in
an
the
international
stage?
trophy and has an IPL trophy also. You can no more make fun of him.
And man, like, but on a serious note, like we have captains like Graeme Smith, AB de Villiers,
yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Pollard,
Yeah.
but the man who lifted the
But
trophy is
had
Temba
WTC
Bavuma.
happened during Graeme Smith's era, I'm pretty sure they would have had at least one trophy.
No,
Pretty
Graeme Smith
sure.
had already won a test match. Graeme Smith won a test match, but yeah,
Yeah,
that was not the final format. That's why it was. But I think test match, it maybe it's my perspective, but I think test match was more respectable and not taking credit from the WTC final, but I think here also you get a test match only, but I think that test match
yeah,
makes more sense to me. That's what I feel.
yeah. So that's the thing. I mean, AVD might be thinking that what wrong did I did by staying in the team, and now,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think everybody must be thinking that. But you don't know, right? This South Africa team already, I think, pushed what initially what happened. They initially always struggled in the semi-finals, but to talk about last year's T20 World Cup, they went to the finals. So there were signs that this team is doing well.
yeah, yeah,
2020
yeah.
City, they went to the semi-finals, so they have been one of the consistent teams. Just the
Yeah.
issue was that they were not able to make it to the end mark. But I think with this win, I think they are more. They are the favorites to win. I would say now the 2027 World Cup, which will be held at their home. They
Might be,
they
might
will be
be.
Yeah.
one of the teams to beat with.
Yeah,
I would say. And T20 World Cup, I'm not sure because some of the best good players are retiring, like of
No,
Hendrik
I mean,
Klassen.
Klaasen has
But
already retired, but I think they should bring Deval Brevis now. And
no, Klassen is retired, and is Miller still playing, or Miller is about to retire?
I think Miller will be there, but they can bring
And
Deval Brevis and Rickelton
Devil
will be
Brevis is
there.
a huge talent. Rickerton will be there. Tristan Stubbs will be there. Markram. Now we may
Yeah.
see a new version of Markram now. I mean, I think it's nobody doubted the quality of what Eden Markram possesses. But
Just little word on KG, what he went through last week with the incident. Yeah, so that controversy around
the
his
controversy. That's what I
suspension
was
and
fearing
all.
that really missed the WTC final on this. But yeah, that was the doubt.
And then he
Yeah,
bowled his heart out. And I mean, had he not played for England or some other
and
countries which placed test so many, he could have completed 500, 600 wickets. I mean, he's already, I think, 300 plus wickets at 30 age.
340 around, 340 around.
Yeah.
And that's what you see
I
with
think
the
even
case of
Pat
I
got to
think
his 300 wickets recently. Pat Cummins, yeah.
and see, but yeah, that's what I think you see with the case of let's say Jasprit Bumrah also. I think he may not end up going for 500 wickets or 600 wickets, but that's what you cannot deny the impact that he will lay whenever he will retire from Test cricket. I think he's averaging now 19.
Yes, yes.
I think if you talk about Rabada, he has the best average. I think it is 39. So it's not always that you need to take 600 wickets or 700 wickets to become a great player without disrespecting anyone. But sometimes I think the number of test matches you play, the conditions that you play, the teams against whom you play, I think those all those things make the I would say a difference. I would say
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just for a fact, I think Jasprit Bumrah, if he takes I think 5 wickets, he'll be the only player to take one subcontinent bowler to take 150 wickets in Sena. He just is 5 wickets away from that, and the
Oh,
highest is the
that's
Wasim
great.
Akram. Highest is Wasim Akram with 146 wickets. So that's what.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, my mistake. Strike rate. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I think we are close to 1 hour into the live now. I think it's 55
yeah.
minutes.
It's 54 minutes and something, and
Yeah.
yeah, let's see. We have some
Yeah. If we have any new comments, I mean, so far I think it's been the musical traveler and Shubhadeep.
Shubhrati. Yeah, if those who are watching, they only can comment to carry the life
Yeah.
forward.
How
In
many are
the
watching,
meantime,
by the way, currently? If you can check, how many
Two.
people are
It's
watching?
come down to one now.
Okay. Okay. It's actually a bit strange that given that this marks a historic
Oh,
day in Test cricket, to be honest,
oh,
with South Africa breaking new barriers. So yeah,
yeah, I think people are more I think concerned about the Indian England series, which is starting.
yes, yes, that would be also a
yeah.
series to
So I
watch out.
mean,
Absolutely, and I am backing India to win at least 2 matches. Yeah, we'll come separately for those lives also. And
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
I think it,
definitely.
it has been a great WTC final to watch. I personally like watching it very much. Lots of ups and downs from both the sides, and yeah, I think similar we can. And now the test season is starting up. The England, I think so. Yeah, and they've
Australia,
renamed
I
it.
think, is going to West Indies now. Their next series.
yeah.
And they've renamed it Anderson Tendulkar Trophy. So let's see
Yeah.
whose name the trophy comes back.
When is it
I
starting?
think
I think, if I'm not
2020
wrong.
Friday. Friday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Friday. And
Abhishek, anyway, go and watch that MI match tonight is MI versus I think LKR.
no,
Okay.
I can only watch the Texas match, right?
No, it's in
So
California.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
think
then I
that's
have to
far
take
from. Yeah.
then I have to take a $300 flight first, and then give $180 for that stadium.
Yeah.
So it's very. Other than that,
And then
drive with my
return.
friends,
Then return from there.
then return.
Yeah.
Man, you will just make me a bigger. Then I have to ask money from you all.
Oh, but yeah.
Then I have to ask money from you all, and maybe who are watching the live to
Who?
come back.
Which
Yeah.
two teams are playing at Texas in that league?
No.
No, I mean
Texas is one of the teams.
Texas and California have been two stipulated venues. So
Is
the
it
first
a
two
is
matches
it a franchise of Chennai
in
Super Kings only? Texas Super,
yeah,
or
Texas
it's a
Super Kings.
different
Yeah, it's I mean the same owners. Even
Oh,
Fleming is the
okay.
coach.
CSK franchise only?
Yeah, and Faf is
Why
the
does
captain.
RCB
I
doesn't
mean
have any
today
more
Faf
teams?
played well. Also, I think he
Pune.
took one great
Yeah.
catch.
No, they have in the
Yeah, great
WPL.
catch. I think
Yeah.
Shubhadeep or yeah, you and I think you send us that
What?
was a great catch, and that speaks that at this age also uh, how much he is
No,
contributing
he's
to the
talking
team with
about
the
the
fielding.
Faf
And
catch.
anyways,
Yes.
Okay.
half catch, yeah, that's that, yeah,
Faf Duplessis, I
and
mean, on the
yeah,
field, he
half
gives
is
his more than 100%, to be honest.
100%. Yes,
Yeah.
I think I think it was last year when he took another blender. I don't remember
Yeah, I think
for
Calvin
RCB.
Savage. This guy played well last year. Also,
Yeah,
he's from
last year
South
only.
Africa
Similar
only.
to this.
He is now in USA. I think Calvin Savage. He's from South Africa only.
I
Maybe.
think he's
Yeah,
also
he's
gone
from
to.
Tampa.
I think there was some.
South
I'm
Africa.
missing that name from New Zealand. I think Corey Anderson, if I'm not wrong, who went
Yeah,
to
he's
USA.
now anyway
Cody
playing
Anderson.
for
He went to
USA.
USA. He went to USA.
Yeah,
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 this was the guy who got fastest ODI 100 at one point of time in 2014. Then
yeah.
one
I
year
think that
later,
was
AB got it in
because
his win league.
maybe his partner lived in USA. Some reasons around that. I'm not sure, but
I
yeah,
think his form deteriorated also in New Zealand, and he sort
Form
of tried.
devoted also, and I think better career opportunities. I would say.
Yeah, so I mean,
yeah.
USA has been a good career opportunity for some Indian players also. I mean, Monang Patel, Unmuk
Hmm.
Chand,
Unmuk Chand.
Harmeet Singh.
Not
So
just Indians, subcontinent players. I would say.
yeah, I mean,
Pakistan players.
Zia ul Haq is playing for Texas Super Kings. He's from Pakistan.
I don't know. I forgot one bowler from. He's very good in leagues. Who defeated Pakistan? I forgot his name.
Okay, Saurabh Netravalkar.
No. He's from India. I'm talking about the Pakistani bowler.
Okay.
Uh, he's very much common, popular figure in the league.
He plays for USA.
USA, Pakistani bowler. Can you just
Mm,
check the
Ali Khan.
Ali Khan? Ali Khan, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
he
Ali
actually
Khan.
played for Trinbago Knight Riders in CPL a lot, and he was once
Yes, yes.
selected in KKR also in 2020.
And one more bowler I like, Harmeet Singh. So
Yeah,
yeah, if
Harmeet
you take
Singh
a
is there.
USA team, it's just a mix
Okay,
of
so this guy
Indian.
has also now joined USA. Ehsan Adil, he played for Pakistan in 2015 World Cup, I
Um,
think.
one more guy was there,
Ehsan,
Samir Aslam, something, who played.
Ehsan Adil, I think
Uh,
dropped that catch of Michael Clark or Watson in 2015 semi-final
Mm.
is it
when Wahab was bowling that spell.
Wahab was bowling? Man, that was
Wahab,
also
that
some
World
kind of a
Cup,
spell.
that World Cup, Wahab was something else.
Especially that match, that was some kind of a spell,
And that
I
spell
would
to
say.
Shane Watson, Watson versus Wahab. Oh my
Okay,
God.
Milind Kumar, this guy is playing for Texas Super Kings. He actually
Yeah,
was in
yeah.
RCB in 2011-12. He from Delhi.
I think this year, I think then it's a year for Texas only. I think because the teams which I am supporting, they're winning.
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe.
TTV
so then
Maybe.
support him.
now
Then he's
RCB
supporting.
and now South Africa. I think nobody in the group
You were
mentioned South Africa.
you were supporting whom in PSL?
PSL, really didn't watch, but I was not supporting Peshawar Zalmi. Apart from that, any team.
Okay,
I
so
was
Peshawar
supporting
Zalmi
Islamabad.
guy, Peshawar guys, you will no longer support Sydney Sixers in BBL
Why? Oh,
because
okay, okay. To be honest, I was supporting Islamabad,
okay, so Sydney
but I
Sixers
didn't.
gave one post. I mean, now time for Smudge and King partnership. ऐसा कुछ post तो डाला था.
Can
Hmm.
do it. I think got the Sydney Sixers now. I think
No, I
did
mean
they
Steve
win in
Smith usually
championship?
plays well in BBL. He can strike hard, but maybe I'm a bit
Not with the
concerned
other
about King.
guy. Yeah, still proclaimed king. I would say more.
Actually, I think once, I mean, BCCI can allow Indian players also to play a bit. I mean, that would have been fun.
Yeah, I always say that, but unfortunately, that's not the
I
But
mean,
I
case.
maybe
think
maybe
see,
Virat and Smith playing in the same team in BBL, or maybe
Hmm.
Rohit
I
and
think
some other guys
I was
play.
seeing some news. I think that Virat got a offer
I
to
mean,
play
you
in some
imagine Virat,
county
Rohit, Dhoni, these guys playing in the other leagues. I mean, Indians would have been so much glued to the television that viewership would have spiked.
fight. I
Just
think
imagine
some news came
Virat,
right.
Rohit, MS playing in BBL. BBL, I
I
mean,
Yeah.
think
views
some
would
news
have gone
came
up.
right. Some BBL owners contacted them. Virat.
Not sure, but I mean, as long as
Yeah,
he's with BCCI, he can't do. I mean, when he's done with all formats, I think
I
still
would
there's
say
a
it's the
cool
correct
period of
thing
six
only
months. Then he
because
can do.
No,
I think
even
it's
when he's
because
done, I think then he can't play
you
IPL
have to manage.
if he signs some other contract.
Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah,
have to cut all ties with BCCI basically.
all international and along with that IPL also as well. Yeah,
Yeah, so
And
Dinesh Karthik
also,
now
I
plays
think
for Pal Royals. Ambati
yeah.
Rayudu, I think, played a bit of CPL.
yes,
Okay.
yes, that's true. That's true. Man, I mean,
So we are more
I
than
think
crossed that 1 hour mark. Yeah.
yeah. I think yeah. I think it's just I think one more. I would say series of tournaments where we are concluding because it's been a great journey covering these. It's a really interesting to cover whenever a international league or some tournament happens. I think the motivation to cover these things also increases a lot.
Yes.
I
Yes.
would say, and
Absolutely.
yeah,
So I think maybe we can wait maybe for a few more comments and then call it a day.
few more comments
I
and then we
guess.
can call it a day. Maybe 5 minutes
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
Anyway, I think this live has gone. I mean, pretty long than we expected. Maybe at the start of the live. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I think we all get predicted Australia, right? Before we
I
started,
mean,
I mean, at least
we,
honestly
we,
speaking,
I thought
I
Australia.
don't
yeah, I
I
mean,
remember.
will be honest.
on paper, Australia was a better skill team to be honest, in terms
Yeah,
of
I was.
experience and skill.
Yeah,
Yeah, but South Africa on those 3 days was better, and that's the fun of a knockout match.
Absolutely.
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
mean, still maybe if you play this, have games between these two sides, maybe 9 out of 10 times Australia would come out tramps, but
I mean,
that
had
one
it
time
been
they
a
missed out.
series, I mean, imagine a 3 match series. I still think that Australia might have won, but yeah, one match, anything can happen.
That's I think the pressure of that one match. You play for 2 years
Yeah,
and then all your fate depends on that one match.
exactly, exactly.
That's what I tell. It doesn't make much sense to me.
Hmm.
A lot of things,
Yeah, so
but
New
yeah,
Zealand and
I
South
think
Africa have won the WTC. India yet to, win their
I
maiden
think from
trophy.
Senna, S has won, N has won, A has won. Now it's like I think it's
Up
India's
to
moral.
England, up to England now.
Yeah,
England.
SE
England.
has
I don't
won.
think S E. Sorry, S. Yeah, SNA has won. So
Yeah,
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 yeah.
SEA
but
has
I
won.
think, but
SNA has won.
And in the exact opposite order, if you see, I think N, A, and S. So
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yes. But I think, yeah, technically speaking, I think who do we see the next team to complete all the titles? I think Australia is one of the team to win all the championships. So, any guesses
Mm,
who will be the next team to be?
Yeah. So all the championships. I mean, you are counting 4 trophies, right?
Yeah, the
ODI
WTC since
T20
it's
World Cup.
added and Champions Trophy and yeah,
Then I think it's
I mean,
India looks probable, maybe.
yeah, because India needs
yeah,
just one more. I mean, England still needs, I think,
a
Champions Trophy
lot, a
and
lot, a lot, a lot. Yeah,
Champions
Yeah,
Trophy
it needs
and
two.
WBC.
Yeah, New Zealand also needs two. South Africa also needs two.
Yeah, New Zealand, England, South Africa, both all need two.
India should,
So,
get to that mark soon. I mean,
Mhm.
so
ideally they should.
if the
when
EPS for
when
India,
WTC final was not announced, India was the first team to win all the trophies in the
actually
ICC
Pakistan needs
T20.
only one.
Exactly, but I think yes, yes. But that's I think I would want India to complete before that.
West Indies also needs one. Just
Yeah,
Yeah,
both need just
yeah.
yeah.
WTC.
So a lot of teams
But
waiting for that WTC. But West Indies, I mean, it
so
looks
in
highly
tennis,
unlikely. I will be very honest.
man,
Winning the
man,
WTC, I think
I
that
would
would be, I mean, a miracle if that happens. I mean,
miracle.
yeah,
I think playing final for them would be a miracle. No, if they go to
yeah,
top four
yeah.
also, it would be a miracle. Top four, let them go to top four only.
Yeah, so Pakistan, West Indies needs one, and who else is there?
India
Sri
needs
Lanka.
one,
I
and
think
India
if
needs
West
one.
Indies goes to top four,
Sri,
I think they should be given
No,
a
Sri
final.
Lanka
Sri
has they
Lanka
won?
needs
Have they
two.
won Champions Trophy? No, no, I don't
No,
No,
think.
no,
no,
they
Sri
haven't
Lanka
won
ODI
Champions
and
Trophy.
T20 only.
ODI and T20
No,
World
ODI
Cup.
also. Oh yeah, ODI they won. Yeah, 96. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Man, they beat Australia.
Hmm.
How can you forget?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
There is not a lot of times Australia is beaten in a final, so you should remember that.
yeah, yeah.
I
That was
forgot that
that was a
actually.
different team. That was a different team. I
Absolutely.
mean, yeah,
Jasuria, Arvinda De Silva,
yeah,
that captain, hmm,
Yeah, Arjuna Ranatunga.
yeah, yeah.
Manatunga Murli, that team will
I think
never come.
Jasuria was there. Oh yeah, I mean, you mentioned Jasuria. Yeah,
Jasuria. Man, that guy Jasuria destroyed. I think Manoj Papakar's career in that World Cup. The
yeah.
way he had lathi charged against him, and,
Similar to what
and
Ross Taylor did, I think, with Shoaib.
Shoaib Akhtar. I think
Yeah.
Ross Taylor did was I think something different. I think. I, I think in 5 overs they scored 100, right?
No,
Something
anyway, I
like that.
mean, Shoaib had grown pretty old by then, but yeah, I mean, that was just
Yeah,
like the final nail in the coffin, something like that, you can say.
that was the final in the
Okay,
coffee.
so
Yeah,
now we're almost on the verge of. Yeah, you just say it. We'll
and I
then
think
say
that
this.
prompted. I think that was a big decision not to play Shoaib Akhtar in the semi-final.
Yep,
Yeah, so I will just
absolutely.
share a very interesting story. So basically, I mean, yesterday was 13th of June, and on the very same day, 26 years back in 1999, Herschel Gibbs dropped the Australian captain Steve Waugh. And
Oh man.
26 years later, on the very same day, in England only, Steve Smith dropped
Man,
the
I
captain, Temba
asked
Bavuma.
I when I told it's dropped. I think some of our members told it's not a drop. Maybe I woke up that time I didn't, but it looked a drop to me only. But
I
I
mean, to be
don't know
honest,
why
it was
they
dropped
were.
like it. I mean, that Herschel Gibbs one was more silly because he took it and he was trying to celebrate and dropped
But I
it.
think this was more serious because it dislocated his thumb.
I mean, yeah, Smith's
Uh,
finger was like this or something. I was saying it was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
yeah, it was very shocking, painful to see actually that thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very nasty picture. It was a very, I mean, sort of hardening
I think
picture.
his
The
West
Stingray.
Indies tour is, I think, gone. He's out from the West Indies tour
I mean,
for
he
sure.
can't play leagues also now. He was in the 100. Now he can't play that league.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
He was playing for
Yeah, I
Welsh
think
Squad. Yeah, so coming to that, I
Welsh.
mean, 26,
Last time he was
26
part
years.
of the ML. Sorry, last time he was part of which team? He was part of the team with Pat Cummins. Sorry, with Head only, right?
No, no.
The team with
He won. He
Travis
won.
Head.
He beat Pat Cummins in the final. Pat Cummins lost that final. Pat Cummins has lost a lot of league finals.
No, no. He was in the team with Travis Head, right?
Yeah,
If I remember. And
that was
sort of,
Washington
sort of
Washington Freedom,
Washington Freedom.
Ricky Ponting's team.
I think sort of Nitra Walker was playing that in that team.
Yeah, so 26 years later in England only, that was in Birmingham, this was in Lords. Herschel Gibbs dropped Steve Waugh, the captain, and here Steve
I
Smith
think if
dropped
you
Mbaba
see that
Uma,
this
the captain.
season,
Both the teams ended up
Herschel Gibbs.
winning.
Yeah, Herschel Gibbs. I think I think after catching that ball, he just I think trying to celebrate. I think caused the fumble. I think.
That actually looked very silly on the screen, to be honest.
Yeah,
Okay,
like he was trying to
this was
celebrate.
not exact date. 3 days before it was 17. Anyways, I
But
mean close enough.
Okay.
in this month
Okay.
of June only. In this month
Yes.
of June
Yes.
only. Yeah, I think, and then I think the famous words was from Steve Waugh, I think, which is I think rumored, but that he have dropped the match. Man, confidence to say even after catch being dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Australia in finals is different. I mean, you see,
Yeah,
they maintained the streak for 15 years. That's not a, I mean, short period of time. I mean, not winning,
yeah,
losing a final. Yeah. So I
yeah.
think, yeah, we are
Yes,
one hour
I
11
think it
minutes.
was a
Maybe we
very
can call it a
interesting
day.
and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was very interesting and very engaging live. And thanks to the people who have joined. And yeah, I think
Yeah. And thank you
we
for
will
all
be
those
again be
who were there in the comment section with your comments. Yeah.
Okay,
and
so I
thanks
think
to I think
actually, yeah, the date was same. It was not the semi-final where Herschel Gibbs dropped him actually. I mean, it
okay.
was the match in the league stage, but had South Africa won it, then I think there was some equation they wouldn't have faced Australia in the semis or something was there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I can just confirm it. Just give me a moment.
Yeah. So in the meantime, then you're starting the England series. So just to give a recap, although we will be coming live for that also
Yeah, we'll be
making
coming live,
videos.
but just asking both of you the predictions. I mean,
Yes, predictions.
Abhishek,
Coming to the preview. So
just
what do
the
you think?
score line,
Upon,
just the score line 3-2, 2-5, 2-3, 4-1, whatever.
so starting with Ritik, what's your thoughts? How you're looking up to the series and what are your thoughts on both the
I think
sides?
it,
Okay. So the thing was, had Herschel Gibbs not dropped that catch and had Australia lost that match, South Africa would have finished ahead in the table, and that meant once the match was tied in the semis, it would have been South Africa who would have been in the final instead of Australia.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically it was the catch drop which coughed them a place in the final, and here Steve Smith's catch drop coughed them
But
a
that was a very
Costed
weird
coughed them
rule
them
out.
that
the, yeah.
the one that time I think super overs were not there. I think so.
Yes.
Who is
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Yes.
above in
yeah,
the
yeah,
points table? They will go. Had there been
yeah,
super overs, it would have been more interesting to see. Or a
yeah.
ball out.
Steve Bow went on to
Who
score
would forget that famous
56.
ball out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think ball out is very more interesting, right? Compared to super over.
I mean,
I think
especially that India Pakistan.
Bowlout wasn't there a lot of matches. I
Yeah.
think only a couple of matches. The only famous match we remember was the Johannesburg match. Johannesburg or
No,
Durban,
no.
whatever it was.
One
I
more I
mean,
remember is the West Indies New Zealand T20 match. But I'm saying
okay.
that I think we should keep ball out. I think it gives that feeling of a penalty in football.
Yeah, surely.
Football. Yeah. 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 Exactly. Exactly. But that India Pakistan is
Yeah.
very famous. That ball out.
Okay. And Steve Bow also asked him, how
Yeah.
does it feel to drop the World Cup, Harshal?
That was a famous.
And,
That is
and
rumored actually. I
he
don't
was
know
at
if
50, he
it
was at
was
56 that time, and he went on to score 120 in that match.
Oh my God.
that's what I'm telling. It's rumored, but I think I don't know whether he really said it or not. But Steve Waugh, I mean, what a player he was also. So, man,
Oh my God. What a player.
Australian cricket has produced some great names. I think both the nations. If
Yes.
you talk about
Yes.
South Africa, you cannot forget the name of Jack Ellis, Hashim Amla, Graham
The
Smith.
most complete cricketer. I mean, as we say it, the most
Yes,
complete cricketer, perhaps. Oh,
and see why he's not even so much underrated. The reason why is so much underrated is because South Africa didn't win any title. I feel
Yeah,
that's one of the major reasons.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I think
definitely.
it's
Otherwise,
time to wind it up.
yeah, just the recap thing,
Yeah,
and
so
then we can wind up.
just the score line, I mean, which I was asking, the series score line.
Yeah,
I think anyways we know Saptarshi what he will predict, but yeah, I think
I mean, I'm asking
uh,
what, I mean, you can say 5-0 India if you want. No one's gonna
no
judge.
no no
You can say 5-0
no
England
no
also.
no
I
that
think it
also
would be 3-2. It would be 3-2, but yeah, in which order I don't know. But it
That's
looks
the
to a
safest
3-2 to
one
I
me.
can
would say
answer.
I
That's
would
the
say
safest
I
one
would
can
say
answer. 3-2 and also not saying the opposition's name.
not then the
Yeah.
safest is 2-2.
Okay, so
Even
Safest is
what's
one
2-2.
match tie.
but
One match
but
tie.
still
One match.
he's betting that one match there will be rain.
I'm following the last series only. 2-2. Yes, and one match rain because it's in England. So
Yeah,
I'm
it
giving
looks a
one match
3-2
to
to
the rain.
me. It looks 3-2 to me.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
giving one match to rain and then 2-2. The first match I would say
Okay.
would be very much crucial. The one who wins the first match. Yeah. Uh,
So what are the
and
venues? I mean, Lords is there, I think, or no?
Yeah,
England will have only
yeah,
five
yeah.
venues,
It
right?
starts. It starts at
Lords,
Leeds, Headingley, and
Manchester.
then moves to
Ooh,
Edgbaston, then moves to Lord, then moves to what is the name of the
Old
stadium?
one
Trafford,
should be oval, right?
Manchester.
Yeah,
One should be
Old
oval.
Trafford, and then Oval. And there's no match at Trent Bridge this year.
Oval is the one of the grounds which Asian batters love to bat. So yeah,
Yeah,
oval. Headingley would be a challenging, I would say. Trent Bridge also would be challenging. Lords,
Yeah,
I would
Trent
say
Bridge.
Indian batters have done well over the
yeah. I
years.
think
So
let's keep these discussions for the next
Yes,
line,
yes. I think we can keep this.
and
Yeah.
yeah, we can wind it up. Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah. So thank
Goodbye.
you guys.
Thanks to
Cheers.
cheers.
everyone.